Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is a 2025 Chevrolet Equinox LT all-wheel drive. And unlike the last white LT I showed you, this one does put power down to all four wheels with a catch and does trade out some of the luxuries for a higher price tag and better traction. Is this the best fit for you in the ever-growing, ever-competitive compact crossover segment? In this video, I'll take you on a quick tour. Stay tuned. As we set off in the 2025 Chevrolet Equinox LT all-wheel drive, I do want to say a massive thank you to Franklin and the team here at Pelche Chevrolet in Tyler, Texas, for allowing me access to this one as soon as it got on the lot. You saw in the last two videos just how quickly I had to shoot those and how the last LT was still wrapped in plastic because it came off the truck to me and is probably already sold. These are massively popular vehicles and they are selling as quickly as they hit the lot. So if you want to make this one yours, hit up Franklin here at Pelche Chevrolet in Tyler, Texas. Let him know Corey from GT Garage Talk sent you. But driving this, I am very excited that this one is an all-wheel drive model because not only do we get traction at all four wheels, we get more torque and we get a different transmission. So as we sit off here in traffic, we can see what the 8-speed automatic is like. Okay. I can't say it's better or worse than the CVT. You can tell that there are gears that it is actually going through, which, again, not a CVT. So that isn't a bad thing. I'm not complaining about that. It doesn't jerk you or kick you in the pants when it shifts through gears. It's 8-speed, so there are plenty of gears without being too many, which can happen. And there's this obsession lately with more gears. I'm thinking that that will make the driving experience smoother and better and more like a CVT, I guess, because in theory, a continuously variable means infinite, right? But yeah, driving it, not too bad, very seamless, not under hard acceleration. Granted, I'm not flooring this because this is a dealer borrowed unit, could be yours. I don't want to mess it up, but let's talk about that powertrain and then we'll come back and talk about the additional torque and things like that. The big differentiator of this versus the last one I drove isn't exactly under the hood here. It still gets the same 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, but it gets a new transmission, puts power down to all four wheels, and it gets a little bit extra torque over front wheel drive models. So there is a lot to be excited about here on this all-wheel drive version of the Equinox. 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque, which is up from the 184 in the front-wheel drive model. The transmission also swaps out the continuously variable option for an 8-speed traditional automatic here in this all-wheel drive model. All right, driving this in normal traffic, in stop-and-go traffic, do I notice that about 20 pound-feet of additional torque? No, not really, but I do appreciate that we are now over 200. I feel like some vehicles in this segment, their base engines are a bit anemic. We experience that with the non-turbo, non-hybrid base engine, that 2.5 that Hyundai and Kia offer in their Sportage and their Tucson, just being a bit anemic. This, I've been asked how do I feel it would do under load with a full complement of people inside or going up and down elevation. Again, I can't really speak to that here on mostly flat ground on a very short test loop, but if that is something of concern, let me know down in the comments so that I can pass that along to Chevrolet and hopefully get one of these for a full week where we really can test that out. We can take it on a family vacation to the hills of southeast Oklahoma or something like that, and really put this to the test, load it down with people and gear. When it comes to what makes this different for 2025, a lot. Actually, starting with that exterior styling. If you watched our previous LT video, you will notice there really isn't much distinguishing this from the last one. As far as exterior styling, the biggest difference is under the hood and inside. But the LT model does serve as the de facto base model now. There's the LT, RS, and active trims, but you can still gussy these up to be fairly nice. LTs come standard with the bright chrome work, but you can option some dark chrome if you absolutely hate the bright work on this one. I think it works just fine. You can see we get all LED lights, running lights, turn signals, headlights, fog lights, LED, all the things up front here. And yes, as is the trend, we get the divorced running lights from the headlight units. But very interesting how close the fog lights and headlights are to one another. I know they point in different directions. Fog lights aim more towards the road, but very interesting that they are so closely placed together. As we pull around to the side, you can see this very much borrows a lot of styling from the new 2024 Traverse, which borrows a lot of styling from the now updated 2025 Chevy Tahoe and Suburban. So the entire crossover lineup is getting kind of this more aggressive, boxy style that has become very popular amongst shoppers in all SUV and crossovers. So boxy is good. Now, as we pull around to the wheels and tires, these are the base 17s. There are also optional 19s on the LT, and you can get a 20 if you equip your vehicle right. These are wrapped in Michelin Primacy all-season tires. They are 235/65 R17s. It's a nice classy wheel. There's nothing just too overt about this LT model. It is just very nicely equipped. This will be perhaps the fleet spec here. White paint, 17-inch wheels, nothing just overtly glamorous about the exterior, but I do like the style upgrade over the previous generation. The previous generation just felt a little soft to me and a little safe in its design. This seems to be coming a little more at the sales leader of Toyota RAV4, especially with some of the options you can get when you go up to like the active with the two-color paint job with a white roof and stuff like that. But I really like the aggressive boxy design here on the side. Much like on all other new crossovers from Chevrolet, we get this shark fin style C-pillar right here that separates the top from the bottom with that glass. Just like on the Equinox EV, just like on the Traverse, just like on practically every crossover Chevrolet has introduced and shown us lately. So nothing too shocking there that we see on this model. The gas cap or the gas fuel door is a push to open here, and you can see it is a capless fuel filler. As we move around to the back of the vehicle, even here on this model that isn't overtly equipped with a bunch of options, we still get full LED lights back here in the back. No incandescent bulbs on the exterior of this vehicle, which I like a lot. LT models do not get any LT badging on them. Again, it serves as the de facto base model. RS and active trims do get trim level badging. We do get the Equinox all-wheel drive here. All-wheel drive is kind of a superscript, but I don't know, does it look a little odd to you? A little off? Equinox award. Equinox award. I don't know. It just seems a little weird. This one does not have a power lift gate. It is a manual opening lift gate. Again, I really feel like this will be in the fleet rental spec, as it were. But back here in the back, we still get very good cargo capacity numbers. I'll go ahead and put those on the screen for you. And we get some clever options, including some underfloor storage here that is quite massive. You can't drop this cover down into that spot, but it does lock into place, and you can pull it out and have much more storage with it out. And while it's out, you can actually lift up this false floor here and expose the temporary spare tire. So you really do have to take that shelf out completely in order to get to the spare tire because of how it's arranged. You can see the locking mechanisms there, but very nice that you get some additional storage underneath this false load floor here. Go ahead and lock that back into place. And the back seat is 60/40, but it looks as though they ditched the rear compartment latches to fold those down. So the two ways you are going to be folding the rear seats down will either be an extended reach here from the back of the vehicle and a push to get it flat. And you can see it is a nice flat load floor. They don't lock into place like the competition from like Hyundai and Kia. But that could be a good or a bad thing, depending on your preferences. But 60/40 split, 40% there on the passenger side. As I mentioned, no power option on this one, but it is an option. And you can see it opens up nice and wide and closes very easily. I really like the styling of Chevy SUVs and crossovers lately. They've kind of hit their stride again. I feel like the last gen Equinox was a little soft and safe in its design. I really like this boxy, more masculine approach here on this one. Even in its most basic exterior form, it does look really good. Moving now to the interior, this does not feel like a basic interior. We get lots of amenities that I will take you on a tour of right now. Before I climb in the vehicle, I did want to show you the key, typical Chevy key, but all of your necessary buttons are right here. Lock, unlock, no hatch release because again, it is a manual hatch, but you do get remote start there, a panic, and you can deploy a physical key from here if you need to, but you can just keep it in your pocket, your purse, wherever you want, because it does have Chevy's passive, well, active entry system on the front doors. You can see that's not on the back door, so if you want to get into the back, you're going to need to unlock it by pressing that button on one of the two front doors. Opening it up, you will see this is a more basic version than what we tested previously here on the channel. We've got the cloth seats, which are standard, versus the Evotex, but we still get the same material here on the doors. I like that it's textured, just gives an interesting dynamic to the interior. Still don't love the gloss black right here. We get an express up down for the drivers, but nowhere else, and that seems to be a growing trend in General Motors models. No memory seat on this one. In fact, fully manual seat on this one. So manual height adjustment, manual recline, manual slide, manual all the things. But I do like the design of these cloth seats. The material is not going to be like grabbing a lot of fuzz. It's kind of like a denim like material, so it is nice. I do feel like it will wear very well, but very basic black and light gray with contrasting stitching and this interesting kind of wave pattern through this intersection. As we move into the vehicle and get out of the humidity of Texas in the summer, we will go ahead and push the start button here. You can see the screens come to life. If I'd been away from the vehicle long enough, there is a little animation that the vehicle does when you get in it that splashes across both screens. Yes, we do have two screens, full digital gauge cluster here, full digital implementation of infotainment over here with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that is wireless. The Equinox EV and all other EV models from Chevrolet ditch Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That is not the case in their gas vehicles. It purely is to do 100% with the EV architecture. They want to keep some of that information proprietary to themselves, so they do not allow Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on their EVs, but I do like that we still get it here on gas models. Quick access button to your 360 cameras. We do have 360 cameras on this particular model. Quite a lot of different views. You can see front wheels, front, back, wherever you need to see, and that does deploy when you put it in reverse from the steering column mounted shift by wire. They did move that up from here, so we don't have any buttons, any knobs, or anything like that. Really frees up this center section for storage. We get a rubberized mat here with USB-A and USB-C. If you do want to plug in to CarPlay, Android Auto, whatever the case may be, that is how you would do it. Otherwise, like I said, it is wireless. This would be a Qi wireless charger if we were optioned with it. It is rubberized. It does fit phones nicely on their sides, but right now it's just phone storage. So interesting that this design still exists when you don't have Qi wireless charging, but it still works for storage. And then we get this big open area. This is not rubberized like these two sections are. So if you put something in here, it may rattle. And on the RS that we tested, there was a drive mode knob, even though there were only 2 drive modes. So very interesting here in that. Then we get some cup holders with rubberized removable liners down in the bottom. More of that textured material from the door panel that I really like. Over the center console, you can see fairly nice storage in here with this little removable hard plastic piece. So yeah, again, more chances for rattles. HVAC controls are nice and simple. Single zone, manual controls, nothing too fancy, but we do have heated seats here. All this comes straight out of Colorado. That is not a bad thing. I like this implementation. You do also have just a very quick access to it. You don't have to dig through the screen. So I really do like this implementation of it. Further details up front here, we get more of that textured material from the doors. Really like this design element here. And then like Blazer EV, like Equinox EV, we get these turbine style HVAC controls. I really like the design of them. And they really do put out the air. While we're over here on my left knee, there is an additional button here that we did not see on the front wheel drive, and that is all-wheel drive. So you do have to select all-wheel drive in order to put it in all-wheel drive. Unlike the competition, say from anyone else, I just got out of the new 2025 Hyundai Tucson. All of that was driver passive to the driver. Driver had to do nothing. If there was wheel slippage, it would send it to the rear wheels. In Chevy models, for some reason, you actually had to actuate all-wheel drive. I assume that is to get better fuel economy numbers. So yeah, there's that. Auto hold, auto start stop, your brightness controls, and your electronic parking brake. Steering wheel controls are very similar. The steering wheel design is a lot of what we've seen from many a new Chevrolet product, and it is very thick rimmed. I like that a lot. You've got paddle shifters for that 8-speed back here on the back. That is not something that we saw on the CVT equipped front wheel drive models. And then down underneath these paddles are the volume and tuning hidden on the backside. Your cruise control information is here, heated steering wheel, and all the different pages that you can search through here with this button right here. So you can go very simplistic, or you can kind of customize it a little bit. You can see we also have traffic sign recognition, though Chevrolet really uses like Google's information and not really traffic sign recognition. So thought I'd call that out. Coming to me, we do not have the panoramic glass roof in this one, which is fine. Again, this one is a little more what you're going to see in rental fleets. It's not a bad thing. It is a very nice vehicle. The quality in here is very good. The build quality is very good. The room and space is very good. But now let's pop in that back seat, see how much room we have behind me here at 5'10". As we move to the back door, just like I showed you earlier, there are no buttons for the proximity key to work back here, so you are going to have to go to the front doors. 24 city, 29 highway, 26 combined. Thought I'd show you the window sticker while we were here. 33,120 for this all-wheel drive model. Opening the door, you can see I did leave the seat down to show you just how flat that folds. The doors do not open all that wide. I feel like other vehicles have a wider opening door. We'll have to wait until I get one of these for a full week to test how easy it is to get a car seat in, but I feel like the opening is large enough. Just interesting that the door doesn't go wider than that. You can see here we do have the fold flat rear seats. There is a little bit of a transition here with that plastic element. And if you don't like the seat belt just kind of being loose like this, I'll go ahead and fold this up and show you. Chevy does give you a little slot here to put the seatbelt buckle if you come at it from the correct angle, so that you don't have to worry about it rattling around when not in use, especially if you've got a child seat in place. Can see we get hard plastic covers over the lower latches, but these are completely removable, so don't lose them if you've got a car seat. put in place for a long period of time. I always joke, we only have these for a week, so I put them someplace that would be less than convenient if we owned the vehicle. Looking at the space in here, it is a very spacious back seat, very flat. Floor back here in the back, even though we have an all-wheel drive model. So really like this space in here. I've got plenty of room behind myself at 5'10". We've got map pockets on the backs of both seats. We've got a little bit of storage down here in the door. We've got a little bit of storage here in the door. We've got AC vents on the back of the center console. Do I wish they were in the ceiling? Yes. But that's really not something you see in this compact class. We have two USB-C charge ports back here. If we had heated seats back here, the heated seat buttons would be here and the charge ports would be down low. I like this better. They're easier to access. You're not having to reach for them. And the length of cable is less of an issue when they're up high. The seats themselves are very comfortable. We do have fold-down armrest with two cup holders, and it doesn't do the Toyota Camry thing where it flops all the way down to the bottom, so I like that. Seating material, again, is very nice in this. I've got plenty of headroom. I showed you the seats fold, but they don't recline, so my seating position here is very comfortable. No complaints. I could ride across the entire state of Texas back here without any problem. Moving here to the center, unlike many other Chevy products I've sat in the center seat of, this still has a nice bit of give to the seat bottom, and I don't feel like I'm sitting up and upright as much. I am a little higher and I am a little more upright just because of that armrest back behind me, but this is not an uncomfortable seating position whatsoever. Would I want to ride here versus one of the two outboard seats? No, but it is not the punishment that it is in some other vehicles. Now, let's hop back behind the wheel. This really does step up the interior game versus some of the competition from Toyota, from Honda, from the Korean twins of Hyundai and Kia. I really like the design. It is a more sporty, more athletic look versus the more appliance look that you get from Honda and Toyota, and the updated 2025 look that you get from Hyundai. Be sure and hit the subscribe button to see my full test of not one, but two new Hyundai Tucsons here on the channel. But I really do like this interior. It feels very familiar to other Chevrolet products. Again, all the screens are the same as what we get in other Chevrolet vehicles. So if you've been in one, you've kind of been in them all as far as design, but I really like how it translates here on the smaller crossover from Chevrolet. Not that they're smallest, you can still get the Trailblazer, and the Trax are both smaller and more affordable than this one. Ride is good, handling is good, noise and vibration is good. It is not loud in here. I get a little engine noise under hard acceleration. I get a little road noise on textured pavement, but it is class competitive. I don't feel like it's a deal breaker. I don't believe that it is exceptional in its class. I think it's mid-pack, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Let's talk about the price just a little bit. As this one is equipped, it is $33,000. So we definitely traded down on interior amenities to get that additional torque and traction underneath us. And I don't know that here in East Texas, that is a big thing for us, the additional traction that is. But I do like the extra power, even if I can't from the seat of the pants really feel the difference. It will be very much appreciated. Would I seek out an all-wheel drive in a climate such as this? No, but I know that is a deal breaker for some of you. So if all-wheel drive is important to you, this one is definitely a good option. Though it's interesting that, like other Chevrolet all-wheel drive crossovers, you have to push a button to get that all-wheel drive. It's not instantaneous, it's not seamless. Very strange there. They're trying to get that fuel economy number in check. But $33,000 and some change as this one is spec'd. Is that too much for you? I feel it is fairly class competitive, though again, we traded down on some of the interior niceties to get that all-wheel drive. For this short drive though, I've really appreciated this one. I could see my family owning this one. Again, I drive an 11-year-old base model Chevy Cruze Eco. So this really would be a step up. More space, more tech features and amenities, still good fuel economy, but not as good as my Cruise Eco, and every bit of the modern amenities that you would expect in a 2025 model year vehicle. If you do want to make this one yours, absolutely go see my boy Franklin at Pedestrian Chevrolet here in Tyler, Texas. If you want to see more from us, including some of the competitors of this, hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified every time a new video drops. Find us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it, all at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, here in the 2025 Chevrolet Equinox LT all-wheel drive, until next time, gearheads, bye. Okay, now we're done.